Hey YouTubers, welcome back to Going to the Country, a series of shows for city people thinking about moving out to a rural area. We did it over 20 years ago and raised our family in a rural community. It was the best thing we ever did. It's been a lot of fun, but at times it's been an adventure and at times a painful learning experience for a city kid. So in these videos, I'm going to pass along some tips and some tricks. As I've said in the past, they're not so much how-to videos as they are heads up. I'm going to give you some information that maybe save you some time and some money. Today I'm going to talk about wood stoves and what you need to know. If you're buying a house with a wood stove in it, there's a good chance that when the people that installed it, they didn't need to get it inspected, and they may have even had a local home insurance company that sort of just signed off on the wood stove. The insurance company might have even sent somebody out and did their own sort of cursory certification to sign off on it. Today, if you're getting into a wood stove, you're probably going to hear the term wet certificate, and this is something relatively new. When I first installed my stove back in the early 90s, I didn't need the wet certificate, just an inspection, just somebody that could inspect it and sign off on it. But today it's called a wet certificate, and it's basically the same people doing the inspection. They've just had to upgrade their skills so that they're qualified to issue a wet certificate. And all that is it's a certificate that is actually that actually, after they've done it, that certificate is registered at your local government, city hall office or whatever. And that's just a declaration that a certified inspector has looked at your stove and certified that the installation's correct, and also that the stove is a certified unit. The most common certification is the UL certificate, and that's an actual, on a wood stove, that's a metal label, like it's an aluminum sheet that's riveted to the back of the stove. It can't come off. So the two things that you want to keep in mind if you're building a house and you're buying a stove, get a new one. Spend the money and get a new one. The new stoves are more efficient. They're a lot more cost efficient, and they're a lot more energy efficient with your wood, and they just do a better job. If you're looking for a used stove, it's got to have that UL certificate. If it doesn't, you cannot get the wet certificate. So, if it doesn't have that certificate on it, just pass on it, and find one with that certificate. They're pretty common. You can find used stoves all over the place. And when you look for, if you're building a house and you're doing the installation yourself, make sure you get the information. Most local hardware stores, they sell, the insulated chimney kits and the wood stoves. They'll have packets for you of information that'll tell you about the clearances that you need to have for the different types of stoves. You have to have so much clearance from your combustibles. That's the main thing. And they'll also have instructions on how to install the insulated chimneys. I've done 2 of them myself, and I didn't have any problems getting them inspected and passed. You can buy kits for the insulated chimneys. They have, the hardware to hang it in the joists, the flashing for the roof, the whole thing. It's pretty straightforward. Just do your research, and if you're unsure, get somebody in. The builder can probably tell you. The builder can probably help you. Tell you, the best place to put the stove, so that it's going to be away from clearances, and as well as the floor, the walls and the floor. You have to have so much room in the front, and you also have to have a fresh air supply close by the stove. So those are a few things you want to know. Make sure you do your research, and all the information's out there. But like I said, the 2 things to look for, if the house already has a stove in it, be aware that you're probably going to have it inspected for your insurance company, because there's a good chance that they never did have it inspected, or they didn't have to. So, and when you go to get a wet certificate, there's, as I said, there's people that are qualified. Most home inspectors now are qualified to do it. So you might be getting the house inspected, and the home inspector can issue, he can inspect the wood stove installation and he can issue the wet certificate at that time for you. So it's all done at once. The other thing that you can do is call in a local chimney cleaner. Most of them can do an inspection and issue the wet certificate. And then they can go up and they'll look at your chimney, and if it needs cleaning, they'll clean it at the same time. So you're sort of killing two birds with one stone, with one stone. So there you go. I hope that helps. Again, the main thing is do your research, and I think you'll find there might be some different regulations in different jurisdictions. So do your research, and you'll be okay. So there you go, wood stoves. I love it. I love wood heat. And so the next time I want to talk about firewood, and I'm going to give you some hints and show you some tricks on how to make splitting firewood easier on your back and easier on your whole body. So thanks for watching, guys, and check out my YouTube channel. I've actually got playlists set up. I'll have Going to the Country. I'll have a playlist for Going to the Country and a lot of other, I think, videos that you might like there. So check out my channel. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.